Right, Shalom, Shalom. Before we begin, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakaki, God, Ishakim, Zil, and we're doing another sit down inside lesson, but nonetheless, it's going through the unicorn, so we're just going to continue on, get into it.
I'm going to say this, the Lord said there's going to be pestilences and curse. So I did a video. That's one of the plagues that the Lord said are going to be shown before his return. Pestilences. And this year, there's a lot of pestilences going on. Talking about the flu, tuberculosis in Babylon, for that instance. Talking about what's happening in Babylon. We're talking about the flu, tuberculosis. That quad limit. Of course, this that seat thing that happened. That happened just recently. And many other viruses. Illnesses are measles. It says measles. People are catching the measles. So this is happening currently in America. That's one of the plagues that the Lord said is going to be happening upon his return. Before he returns. I'm just going to get it out of water. Yeah, I got to see. We're just going to continue. We're going to continue with Mark 13. This is Mark 13 and 11. Mark 13 and 7. I'll read out the Amplified version. It says, Amplified version says, when you hear wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed, frightened, or troubled. These things must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be earthquakes in various places. There will be famines. These things are the beginning of the birth pains, the intolerable anguish and suffering. Right? So, I'm gonna go to Luke. That's still, I know it's in Matthew. Luke 21, see what it says. Luke 21. Luke chapter 21, verse 10, it says, then Yahweh told them, nation, out of the Amplified version, it says, then Yahweh told them, nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be violent earthquakes in various places, famines, and deadly and devastating pestilences, plagues, epidemics, and there will be terrible sights and great signs from heaven. So that basically, you see all these things happen, right? Famines. It's gonna evidently affect us without a doubt, because a lot of these immigrants, like the Latino community, which they are the ones that's picking up the vegetation, in the fields, working in the fields. A lot of them are illegal immigrants. They said they're not showing up to work, and because they are afraid of being deported. You know, and these tariffs also is going to cause shortages. People are not going to people are not going to be able to buy a lot of these products because it's going to cost more than what it should be. You know, but you see all these things. There are also these various earthquakes. I think there was one. There was earthquakes. Some place got hit with a multiple earthquakes. You know, it says I looked up recent earthquakes. It says 5.7, 84 miles, 84 miles from Cushua, Mongolia. You know, all these hurricanes in San Diego. This today is the 15th. There's two reported in San Diego, Texas. Talking about Ethiopia, Meta area, Ethiopia, Victoria. This is on the 14th. Yesterday, Victoria, DC, Canada. California, you know, very a couple of two in California, that was on the 13th. Morocco, so you can just look these things up. It says an hour ago, it says multiple earthquakes felt in California's Bay Area on Thursday. Toppling out at magnitude 3.7. So they said multiple earthquakes was hit in the Bay Area of California. So these various earthquakes are been happening throughout the earth. You know, it's been a lot of occurrence these past years or so. You know, there's been a lot of occurrences of volcano eruptions and earthquakes. There's one of the article here says volcano watch was shaken. Earthquake alert, earthquake alerts explained. So this was in Hawaii. Yeah, Hawaii. Today in Hawaii. So volcanoes also causes the earth to quake. So these things are happening in the earth. You know, famine. A lot of these people in that Gaza area, Gaza Strip, these Palestinians, they're suffering from famine. You know, I think a lot. That's why they were sending aid, U.S. humanitarian aid over there due to this conflict with the Israeli state. And what is that? Wars. Russia, not to mention Russian and Ukraine war, trade wars with Donald Trump, with these tariffs. These are trade wars, economic wars, right? So all these things that the Lord said is going to happen, terrible sight from the heaven. And you're talking about some type of that can be uh, so-called UFOs, UAPs can be considered a terrible sight because they are trouble when they see these UFOs, UAPs, and they were talking about some type of astronaut that they was concerned with that's going to hit, or they was thinking about asteroid, asteroid that supposed to be, it was scared it's going to hit Earth, it says, I think I got an article here, it says an asteroid has a 2% chance of hitting Earth two, two, 2032, right? That's what it says in 2032. So there's another one. There it says why asteroid 2024, why are 4, that's the name of the Y, the letter Y, the letter R, and number 4 is unlikely to hit Earth in 2032. How scientists keep track. So, the Lord said that, the Lord talks about that in Jeremiah 10, that don't be dismayed at the signs of the heavens. But the heathens are dismayed at them, right? They think, an asteroid could hit the earth and destroy the whole planet. Esau saying that type of shit, more or less, have the whole world, or have you paranoid that the whole earth will get blown up by asteroids.
That you would panic.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to interject, but just to say a quick, comment that, yeah, you see these abnormal, or these people to be normal, but abnormal weather patterns. You know what I'm saying? Snow hitting in places where normally, it wouldn't hit. These different, uh, you know, climate changes that are happening in different hemispheres or parts or regions of the world that, it wasn't, prone to happen. They're like, for instance, in New Mexico, as they call New Mexico, there was getting feet of snow, man, where, that's what you call abnormal weather patterns to them, man. But right there, let you know, the Lord is visiting this place, man. Even though the possibility, because we know Esau even has methods to manipulate, the weather patterns and things like that. But nonetheless, man, if it's man-made through this devil, through the what they would call natural phenomenon, nonetheless, it's all the works of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord said to watch as well as pray. And I got another precept with the book of Ezekiel, chapter 5 and 11 says, wherefore also wherefore as I live, saith the Lord, Yahweh, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary with all thy detestable things and with all thy abominations, therefore will I also diminish thee, neither shall my eye spare, neither will I have any pity, man. So when these calamities hit, the Lord is not going to have any pity, man. Continuing on, it says, a third part of these shall die with the pestilence, and with famine shall they be consumed in the midst of thee, and a third part shall fall by the sword around about thee. And I will scatter a third part into all the winds, and I will draw out a sword after them. So these calamities that the Lord, or pestilence that the Lord sent out, man, there's no escape. The only one that's going to be found worthy of salvation, man, through the grace and mercy of the Lord, is the elect, man. Everyone else is a target, man. And I'm going to read the New Living Translation, Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 12. It says, a third of your people will die in the city of diseases and famine. A third of them will be slaughtered by the enemy outside the city walls, and I will scatter a third to the winds, chasing them with my sword. King James Version. Thus say Select, thus shall my anger be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted, and they shall know that I, the Lord, have spoken it in my zeal, when I have accomplished my fury in them. 14. Moreover, I will make thee waste and a reproach among nations that are round about thee in the sight of all that pass. New Living Translation will repeat that same precept. So I will turn you into a ruin, a mockery in the eyes of the surrounding nations, and to all who pass by. And that's what these people are doing. They're doing anyway. They're mocking, or they're trying to make mockery of the prophets, man. All this is prophecy, man. You know, you hear these, the 2/3 are another nation too, man. You know what I'm saying? So that equates to these simple ass niggas, man. You know, they attempt to make mockery of the Lord's prophets, man. You know, regardless of what conclusion they come about, whether it's personal, whether it be, through the teachings of Yahweh Shah. But nonetheless, man, they try to attempt to make mockery because all this is prophecy. 15 says, so it shall be a reproach and a taunt and instruction and an astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee, when I shall execute judgments in thee in anger and in fury, and in furious rebuke. I, the Lord, have spoken. New Living Translation reads, you will become an object of mockery and taunting and horror. You will be a warning to all the nations around about you. They will see what happens when the Lord punishes a nation in anger, so like punishes a nation in anger and rebuke it, saith the Lord. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, in which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. So I will send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord, have spoken it. So that's what the Lord done this in days of days of old, and it's in these events are going to continue, are going to happen again, man. You know, because this what scenarios that happen throughout generations, man, that more or less repeats. Like, because the nation of Israel, we were habitual offenders of the Lord, man. And what happened? We went into captivity and or subjection under these nations, man. It was like a repeat. We went into captivity under the Babylonians, under the Egyptians, the Medo-Persians, et cetera, et cetera. The Greek, we are still in captivity to this day, man. Because, these things repeat, and the Lord never changed, man. So what happened then is going to happen now because, certain events shall take place that did happen before, like the Lord had what? He took down these dynasties that were ruling at one point in time. That's why you see, just like I just mentioned about, you see the Babylonian Empire. you know, the Egyptian empire, you know, these empires, man, that was ruling at one point in time in history, they were taken down, man. And this empire, which is the, you know, the nation of Edom, Esau, is no different, man. You know, they're ruling now, and we can see through the spirit that their time is ticking, man. Their time is up, man. Only through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, you know, the Lord's will, you know, that we see these things are falling out, man. You know, I mean, these things are like taking place. You know, because the Lord said every jot and tittle shall pass, man. You know, so these are the things. These are what it says. Ezekiel 5:17 says, "So I will send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through you, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord, have spoken it." The Lord has spoken these things to existence. You know, so we know, like we was mentioning earlier, these pestilence are going to happen. Like you see ailments, you see them all in the news. Another pestilence is what he recalls, man. You know, every day you will see in the news feed. What I know is I know a lot of other people know this too. You know, they're recalling this, they're recalling that. That's every day. Once in a while, it used to be they have a recall, you know, sporadically. But now it's like every day, man. They're recalling this, they're recalling that, they're recalling. And that's every day, man. So the Lord is what? He's increasing these pestilence, man. You know, and what I was in the supermarket, I mean, it might have been due to their restocking. I should have filmed it, but I didn't. It's like a lot of the shelves were bare, man. Because I went there, I went to this search supermarket maybe a week prior. Their shelves were filled, but I went there a couple of days ago and the shelves were bare, man. Like where the meat section is. That's one in particular I remember. You know, they had other different sections that, you know, it was out of product, man. You know, it could be due to, you know, them restocking or whatever it may be. I'm not sure. But I just noticed it. I was like, wow, I mean, it's nut here. You know, like the poultry, beef, and the abomination, you know, the fish, all this stuff was like bare, man. Like they didn't have nothing, no meat, none. But yeah, man, we know these things shall come to pass because the Lord has spoken. You know, these people don't want to hear the truth, man. You know, but we know what the Lord said to be true. You know, and every man alive, the Lord's word to be true. Every man alive, the Lord said these things shall come, and worse things are, you know, in the process to come. And the Lord also said, you know, worth the paraphrasing, that worse things shall happen before the good, meaning the kingdom of heaven shall come. Right? So we know uh, to keep an eye out, man. You know, like the Lord said, watch as well as pray, man. You know, all we can do is keep hope alive, man. You know, cause like when I put it, because that's what the precept says, man. We are prisoners of hope, man. You know, we don't control nothing, man. The Lord controls everything. These people think they got free will. They would like to think that, man. Everything is predestinated. Us doing this ministry, you know, to the minutest detail in your so-called life, it was already predestined, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens. You know, like they say, everything happens for a reason. And the reason is that Yahweh Shai allows it to happen. Man.
He said this is Jeremiah 21. You know, some of you Israelites think you're gonna fight it out. You got guns. You know, fight out against Esau, but Esau with the sword, that's also a plague. You know, the devil coming with the sword, that's also a plague. You know, 'cause just like the God said, you shall die by the sword. You know, and the Lord is going to allow Esau with his military primarily to come down on Jacob, man, and a lot of them going to get slain by the sword, man. They think they're going to prevail because they got some weapons or whatever, man. Or I guess they think they got it figured out. This is Jeremiah 21:4 says, "Thus saith the Lord, I will Bashu, I will shout, I will Israel, behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith you fight against the king of Babylon and against the Chaldeans, which besiege you without the wall, and will assemble them into the midst of this city. And I myself will fight against you with an outstretched hand and with a strong army, even in anger and in fury and in great wrath." So that's the devil with his military, you know, martial law troops. That's what the Lord going to allow this devil to do, because just like the Lord said, he said, I am, like Jeremiah 21:5, it says, I, that's like it, am, and I myself will fight against you. So the Lord is using these devils to fight against you. You know, when he's going to use these heathens, Esau, you know, to fight against you, you know, 2/3. Because it's like we're going to get this precept, Zechariah 13:8. It says, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein." So 2 parts of Israel are going to be cut off and die, man. You know, and the sword is eating, so that he's going to allow Esau him to come down on 2 parts, which, like I said, that's a plague that the Lord is going to send, man. These devils with the sword, you know. Verse 6, and it says, "And I will smite the inhabitants of the city, both man and beast, they shall die of a great pestilence." Right? So that's what's going to happen, man. It's going to happen. That's going to happen again. The Lord is going to fight against you with these Chaldeans, these Babylonians, these Edomites with the sword, man. It's military. They was talking about Trump bringing the military to the border, man. Deploying some military personnel to the border, man, because all of this is just all of this military actions or military calls, where they've been calling the military to these certain events, like capitals for presidential events and particular things that's happening for whatever reason. And we need to bring the National Guard in. You know, 'cause all this is basically the devil bringing about this martial law, man. He's gradually using his sword, which is the military, you know, his weapons of war.
Because let me interject, and you know, it's through the spirit, but that's exactly what I was about to bring up. Because I'm looking at it right now. When you mentioned the National Guard, because you know, Governor Youngkin, he's the governor of Virginia. He declared, you know, due to a couple of days ago, there was some snow that hit Virginia, and what did he do? He declared a state of emergency. That he called in the National Guard. You know what I'm saying? So that's nothing more than an attempt for you people to get comfortable with what seeing military presence in civilian life, man. You know what I mean? Which there's supposed to be a separation, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's nothing more than getting people accustomed of seeing the military, man. So you know they call, even though there wasn't much snow, you know, they, like I said, they try to overreact because they wouldn't, like they said, they was going to get, you know, so much snow where people may be snowed in and there's going to be no movement, or it's gonna be like that for weeks. They got, some snow for one particular day, man. Even though it snowed decent, but it wasn't like, heavy snow where it's, several feet high. You know what I'm saying? They got a couple inches of snow, but it wasn't like, some snow blizzard where, everything's gonna be shut down. Even though they did stop, I think they shut down the schools. And they shut down a couple other businesses, maybe. I'm not sure, but I know they shut down schools. But that's this devil's attempt, man, because he's sly, man. He's cunning, man. So he's not gonna be too obvious. He's obvious to the men of the Lord, but he's not gonna be too obvious to the people on what his real objective is, man. He's like a snake. He's gonna slither in. It's gonna be close to you. Then he's gonna strike. It's gonna be too late. That's how a lot of you people want to be caught. Because the Lord said He's gonna come like a thief in the night, man. You people want to be unaware to, the pending events that's gonna take place here, man. Be unprepared. You know. But yeah, that's what the spirit, man. I mentioned the National Guard. That's what I'm looking at in this article that that he declared a state of emergency due to this they call it a winter storm, which it was just it snowed one particular day, man. It snowed that day, snowed for a couple of inches, and ever since then we haven't been getting the snow yet. Not to say that we won't have any, but that was like a couple of days ago. The snow pretty much melted now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just like this devil. He's being slick, man. Have you people, familiar with certain things. Like I can't recall when something like this happened. They declared a state of emergency and they called in the National Guard. I never recall that. Not to say it happened, but I can't recall. Even like I said, it snowed prior to this snow that happened a couple of days ago. I think it was like on the third or something. It was too long ago. That's when he declared the state of emergency. But it snowed maybe a week or two or whatever. It snowed weeks before that. But I didn't recall anybody stating state of emergency and calling in the National Guard. But when it snowed that time, and about a week or two ago, they said it was the 30th, so the day is the 15th, so might have been some weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? But at least a week ago. But I didn't notice any declaration of state of emergency and the National Guard being called, prior to, so like when we had first got snow, a couple of weeks before the third, you know what I'm saying? Before February the 3rd, we got, I think it was the snow in January that hit. But I didn't hear any, mention of this governor declaring a state of emergency. Not to say he didn't, I just didn't hear it. Maybe he did, but I didn't hear it. But I know this one, I know he did. But like I said, that's how they do, man. They are clever at what they do, man. Have you people thinking that it's just a tactic that they use to, in the eyes of doing some type of good, but yeah, they find it was something more than that, man. You know what I'm saying? I can believe there's more than that because they're preparing something. So when this governor does declare, because they passed legislation simply if they went to the streets of this George so-called Floyd carrier in the state of Virginia, they declared they passed legislation where they can declare a state of emergency, where I think they can use the military or the National Guard can be called in, man. And they're going to set up a curfew, same thing as if an event like that happened again, they passed legislation where, he can declare a state of emergency, and more or less, I'm gonna say he could declare a state of emergency and uh, command pretty much a curfew. So that's all it is, a tactic that this devil is just using to, you know, flex his muscle, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? So they're gearing up, for what, civil unrest, you know, and things of that nature, because that's what's bound to happen, because that's one of the events, especially our elders, our teachers that they're talking about, man, declaring martial law.
It's gonna be for what will reach civil unrest, food shortages, pestilence. It might be a variety of all, man. It's gonna be chaotic in the streets, right? Civil unrest, race wars, food shortages, pestilences out here. So more or less, it's going to be a variety of all this at the same time in a mixture. And cities going to be shut down. That's mentioned in Second Ezra, I think 16th chapter. If I'm not mistaken, it's the 16th chapter. But I want to continue on at Jeremiah 20:21 and 8. And it says, I'm going to jump down to verse 8. And it says, And unto this people thou shalt say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I set there, behold, I set before you the way of life and the way of death. So that's what we're doing, we coming out and speaking according to the word of Yahweh Shai. His ways is life. Anything else is the way of death, So that's what the Lord is doing. He's setting life and death before the children of Israel. It says, verse 9, it says, He that abideth in this city shall die by the sword, and by famine, and by pestilence. But he that goeth out and falleth to the Chaldeans that besiege you, he shall live, and his life shall be unto him for a prey, right? So that happened, when the Babylonians besieged Jerusalem. But the point was that the Lord is going to bring these things again, these plagues again, which is the sword, famine, and pestilence, right? So those that, in this, it says that he that, but he that goeth out and falleth into the Chaldeans, that besiege you, he shall live, and his life shall be unto him for a prey, right? So, more or less, they're going to be ones that consent unto Esau to, more or less, to this new world order. They're going to be ones that can consent to them, but they're going to be trodden underfoot,
God, I got that word besiege. I got a definition of it, man. The precept that I mentioned, there was a word. It says besiege. It shall, besiege. That word besiege says surround a place with armed forces in order to capture it or force its surrender, or force its surrender, lay siege to. So it says surround a place with armed forces, and that goes back to what we just mentioned, martial law, man. And I Googled something. I said, what is martial law? Like pretty much, how likely is martial law in in the United States. It says martial law is a rare but possible action in the United States that involves the military taking over civilian rule during an emergency, man. So right there, like I was saying, these devils, they work clever, man. So when that dude, the governor, um, Youngkins, when he declared, oh, like this happened this month, I think it went into effect February the 3rd when he declared it. It said what? He declared a state of emergency and the National Guard was called in, man. So that right there is like that's those steps in what? Declaring martial law, man. And it reads, it says, I Googled it, man. It says martial law is a rare but possible action. It's like martial law is a rare but possible action in the United States that involves the military taking over civilian rule during an emergency, man. So that's what, like I was saying, they're just flexing their muscle. They can do this. And what you think these events or these things that they do are just like test runs, man. How the people react, getting you what you wouldn't say, like people say, oh, he's just doing that, to help out civilian life, man. He's declaring martial law. That's something normal, they do that so you people will look and want it a better eye. You know what I'm saying? You would think there's something normal that they do for your benefit, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how they going to disguise it, because that's how these devils work, man. They don't work, they cunning, man. Like that slither snake. And it's right, it's too late, man. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be setting up shop, these civilian, these military, you're gonna see them, the military in post-military checkposts and stuff like that, you're gonna think is normal. You know what I'm saying? Could be, with with these immigration policies, and you don't know, these devil gonna find different strategies that get you people off guard in the attempts of, public safety or, something of that nature, man. Have you thinking just it's something to protect your civil liberties or whatever it may happen, man. You know what I'm saying? But not what they attempted is to take your civil liberties away. You know what I'm saying? For one, that's why they restrict these or put these guidelines on these platforms, man, to what? Diminish your what you want to say, freedom of speech, man. But yeah, these devils, man, you get, that's why the Lord, what I mentioned, the Lord said, watch for us pray, man. We supposed to be watchmen for the house of Israel, man. And the Lord said, what? Give them warning from me, man. You know. So we're doing as the Lord commanded us to do what? Is to warn that these things shall and will happen, man.
Jeremiah 21. And 9 again it says, he that abideth in the city shall die by the sword, by famine, and by pestilence. But he that goeth out and falleth to the Chaldeans will be that besiege you, he shall live, and his life shall be to him for a prey. Right? So some people want to surrender over or consent, like the scripture says, though in second Ezra's, I think 15. Second Ezra's 15, it says, second Ezra's 16, those that consent unto him will be trodden underfoot. Yeah, second Ezra 16. I'm gonna just read. I'm gonna go back. Jeremiah 21. Uh, 9 again it says, "He that abideth in the city shall die by the sword, and by famine, and by pestilence. But he that goeth out and falleth to the Chaldeans that besiege you, he shall live, and his life shall be unto him for a prey." Right? Because some is going to consent unto this new world order, and they don't think that you know, they just think that they just save themselves. You know, 'cause that's why the Lord said, "His life shall be unto him as a prey." Like you just saved yourself because you're going to consent or surrender over to battle, over to these to this new world order. Esau's new world order, basically. But you're not gonna save yourself, man. You know, you're gonna lose your life for real. You know, not this time around. You're not gonna save yourself. You know, by consenting or surrendering unto these Babylonians, the enemy. You know, you consent this time, which consenting is accepting the MOTB, just the mark in this new world order. You know, you're gonna try to save yourselves by consenting, but this is what's gonna let's continue on. Verse 10 it says, "For I set my face against this city for evil and not for good, saith the Lord Yahweh. It shall be given unto it, it shall be given unto the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire." Right? So that is that fire is this great multitude, right? Read Jeremiah 21:10 says, "For I set my face against this city for evil and not for good, saith the Lord Yahweh. It shall be given unto the hand of the king of Babylon, these Edomites, right? And he shall burn it with fire." Right? So what is that fire this time? Is read this second Ezra 16:68. What we've been saying, what we just mentioned earlier, this is martial law, it's military, it's arms, right? And this ICE is a this ICE agency is just an example of that. You know, he's using his weaponry, or his force, the force of the sword, basically, to do what he wants, right? You know, and that's more or less it's going to get more severe. It's going to get more severe than what you seeing now with this ice thing, this mass deportation. Who are they mainly targeted in this mass deportation is most definitely the Latino community and the Haitian primarily, man, primarily the Latino and Haitian community. You know, this is Second Ezra 16:68 says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols." Right? So that's why some of them gonna surrender to Esau and accept this new world order. Right? Verse 69 it says, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot." Right? So that's what those that surrender, meaning those that consent unto this new world order, is going to be found in derision, trod, and in reproach and trodden underfoot. You know, so this time around, you're not going to save your life in surrendering or submitting to your enemy this time. It's not going to work. You know, because our punishment is ending, right? And the Lord is going to purge 2/3 Lord is going to purge two parts, 2/3 of Israel out by the sword, famine, pestilences, wild beasts, you know, plagues that the Lord, these plagues that the Lord is going to send on the earth. You know? So, yeah, those that consent, those that surrender unto Esau, this time around trying to abide by his new world order, you're not going to save your life this time. That's the difference. So we know all we know is the elect is going to make it. That's all that's written. That's all that's promised. The promise of salvation is to the elect of the nation of Israel, right? So we're hoping that we're a part of his elect, because we know without a doubt it's written. We understood that the elect of Israel is going to receive salvation. That's just a small number of people, small remnant, right? A very small remnant, as the scripture said. Right? So, like I said, ICE, that agency ICE is a form of that burning wrath of a great multitude, man. Because these devils are not going to take. You can't talk your way out of it. You can't. They said they said they was going after the hardened criminals first, but you ones that's working for a living over here, more or less you're not only crime you're more or less committing. You're committing I guess a civil offense. You're not. That's what they say. You're those that's over here illegally. They're not really committing a criminal act. It's more or less on the civil side, but they're gonna treat you like a criminal. I mean, because more or less that's a civil offense. If I'm not mistaken, that's what they were saying. That's all civil. It's a civil matter. But they treat you like they treat you like you're a criminal. That's why uh, a lot of these illegal immigrants, which is from the Latino community, they're hiding, right? But they're gonna be at the time coming. You ain't gonna. There's no way. I mean, the scripture says, "Tend to a city" or something like that, right? So when we tend to a city, yeah, to 2 Ezra 16.
I got before you get off that subject. I thought you were talking about the Northern Kingdom and this ICE thing, man. What this like? 'Cause that's before this administration came into play. There was a prior administration that was what Biden, and their slogan was what Build Back Better. But now, because that's what they do, man. These devils, man, they just use people, man. So he had, these immigrants, namely, the Northern Kingdom, come in and build their country. Now they're, they may use some of them or use them. Now they want them gone. So that's not right, man. But nonetheless, man, this devil works in craftiness, man. He has an alternative motive. He has alternative motives. Man. He don't have. He has a primary objective namely the elites have a primary objective of trying to be world domination. Man. But nonetheless, this devil he works in disguise, and he try to disguise himself as doing something righteous, but actually it's wickedness. Like even though this precept is talking about Jehoiakim, but it applies to this devil, man. You know what I'm saying? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 22 and 13. It says, "Woe to him who builds his palace by unrighteousness, his upper rooms by injustice, making his countrymen work for nothing, man." And that's what these immigrants, more or less, these like I'm saying, they're hiding. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these you know Spanish or whatever you would call it, immigrants. Man, a lot of them they work in comparison to the so-called United States citizen, to say the least. They're not getting the same wages, and they work. Man, they work longer hours. They work harder for less than what they will pay someone else to do the job.
They doing more laborers work. They doing more laborers work. They're working harder. They not even getting minimum wage.
God, I'm gonna continue on. I'm gonna read that again. It says, it's like this is Jeremiah 22 and 13 again. It says, "Woe to him who builds his palace by unrighteousness, his upper rooms by injustice, making his countrymen work for nothing, not paying them for their labor," man. So that's what these devils are doing, man. They're not paying these people that they're trying to force out, namely the so-called Mexicans or whatever, or Northern Kingdom. They got some Judite, you got some Haitians. I think they were around up Haitians too, if I'm mistaken. But mainly the so-called Hispanic, the Spanish-speaking people, they're these people are working, he said not paying them for their labor, man. These people are not actually being paid for their labor, man. They're being used, man. They having them come over here, paying them, less than what they be paying someone else, and using them for their labors, man. And these devils, after they use them, what they do, they send them back. You serve your purpose, now you can get out of here. In this false sense or false hope of an American dream, man. But you got these people, trying to act like they standing up for the stand, but all that shit is a facade, especially that Edomites, man. That shit is a facade. And so these people would think, oh yeah, they really want us over here. It's the government that don't want us over. Man, these people, man, they're deceptive, man. They're the devil, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said what? Never trust our enemy, man. These devils, even though they got someone trying to act like they sincere, you gotta watch these devils, man. You know what I'm saying? But they just do that to give off a false narrative that they're trustworthy people, or we all not bad. Because after it's all said and done, man, they're gonna get with the program, man. And if they'll if they're gonna get with the program of the elites, and if not, they're gonna be casualties, man. Because just like you said, the Lord said, if Egyptian, Egyptian, more or less Egyptian against an Egyptian, then how can one, how can a kingdom stand, man? So we already see these Edomites, they are at odds with each other. That's why their kingdom is crumbling. But nonetheless, man, when it comes to the nation of Israel, man, they're not uh, looking, they're not in your best, they're not for your best interest, man. I'll put it like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because of how some of them try to portray it, they're gonna try to, get what they can out of you, use you, and then push you to the side or something, man. But yeah, that's what it is. That's what the Lord said. Woe to him who builds his palace by unrighteousness, his upper rooms by injustice, making his countrymen work for nothing, not paying them for their labor. That's what mainly that's what a lot of those Spanish people, the Mexicans, they call them Mexicans, or they've been identified as that. That's what a lot of them doing, man. They're not actually getting paid for their labor, man. They maybe get paid something, but they won't be they're not getting paid as anybody else would be getting paid to do the same job, man. That's why they're coming to this country. Some of them may be what they call illegal, but to work for less than what the average person will get, so they can somewhat I guess under the perception of living a better life. I'm not sure what their means of coming over to this place here, but that's a lot of what I've been hearing. You know what I'm saying? The process of living a better life. I'm not sure, but it is what it is. But nonetheless, man, that's what this devil is doing, man. These people are not getting paid for their labor, man. They've been used and been kicked to the side, man.
The only reason why, like I said, you see the Edomites standing up for these Hispanics or whatever, more or less because they help furthering their money, man. They help funding their businesses. Like, look, if you get these people out of the country, you're gonna hurt my money. That's the only more for the primary reason why a lot of these Edomites are standing up for. I ain't speaking for everyone of them. More or less I am. You know what I'm saying? Because it's they got a it's oh they're they're selfish, man. They're only out for themselves, man. Like I said, a lot of these Edomites that's pro immigration is because they got money endeavors and invested in these immigrants being over here cheap labor, man. Or like I said, they not paying them, more or less they ain't paying them what they supposed to for their labor. But a lot of them are hiding. That's why another point was bringing out 2 Ezra 16 and 28. It says, For of a city there shall be left 10, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. Right? So I got a article here says busy Chicago district known as Mexico of the Midwest turns into ghost town as fears of ICE raids looms. So a lot of these areas where these Latinos at, even here, the city that I live in, like I think they just like Latino strip more or less. I haven't been over there recently. But from when I remember looking, I mean, before this deportation raid of Trump was announced a few months back, it was thriving. Like you see a lot of Latinos, so-called Latinos, out and about, man. But now it's like scarce. I'm seeing some here and there, but it's more or less on the scarce side now, man. They don't know what's going on. They on the scarce. 2 Ezra 16 and 28 again it says, For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks, as in an orchard of olives upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives, or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days, there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search the houses with the sword. So, through all these pestilences, these places are ultimately not just the Latino districts or communities, more or less they're hiding or whatever. But as the Lord send these plagues, the Babylon itself going to be more or less like this, man. People, the ones that survive or whatever, more or less going to be some. It's going to be 10 to a city, like the Lord said. 10 left, 2 in the field. You know, it's going to be scarcity of people out here, man. You know, and those that they're going to be hiding themselves in these houses. You know, they're going to be, you know, it's like these ghost towns. What they doing now because of the ICE deportation scare. These people are being, you know, they're hiding for the most part. They're in hiding, you know, but eventually that's going to be everyone in Babylon for the most part, man. You know, due to these pestilences that the Lord, plagues that the Lord is going to send, He's going to thin these people out, man. These people want to be thinned out due, due to the plagues that the Lord is going to send. You know, we just hope that Yahweh outside have Kasadia, which is mercy. Kasadia, you know, which is mercy upon us, man. I hope that we are part of the elect, man, because you know, there's no doubt about it that only the elect of the nation of Israel is going to receive salvation, like I said before, as, as, as what the scripture spoke about. Scriptures speak about the elect of Israel receiving salvation. You know, the Lord is bringing these plagues about. It's like, you know, the Jacob's trouble more or less is already here. You know, it's starting with the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom also because of the Haitians. But it's only going to get worse, man. And also, I meant to make a lesson on it. Hopefully, I get to it. It was talking about they got to deal with El Salvador to bring not just violent immigrants, but they consider violent immigrant gangs to El Salvador, but also these troubled American citizens that they considered criminal, like hardened criminals, so to speak, you know, for lack of a better word or whatever. These hardened criminals.
Well, actually, yeah, if you a felon, you're a second. You really said you're second. You're a
Three strike or some shit.
You know, second offender. They talk about, yeah, you recruited too.
God damn.
I was seeing it. I was just Edomite was going over it. I see the video. Edomite, he said like you a second offender or something. You know, when a dope felon with a second offender, he said, yeah, he's trying to put you in category 2.
Yeah, these Negroes with these street gangs, because they got I know in Georgia and in California, they got a law called Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act, you know, which I'm gonna just read it. It says the Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act is a law in Georgia that aims to reduce criminal gang activity. The act was passed in 1998 and includes provisions for enhanced penalties and procedures to appoint more assistant district to enhance penalties and procedures to appoint more assistant district attorneys. So there's a law called Street Gang Terrorism Prevention Act, right? So they calling you gang banging Negroes terrorists, man. So you can fall in the category of a terrorist. More or less, that's what you're doing anyway, but you ain't terrorizing your own so-called quote unquote black community. You know, was these Edomites don't give a fuck about you killing each other. They only mention this for their agenda, you know, to justify and putting you away and putting you to death. You know, they don't care that Negroes are killing each other. You know, these laws are to justify them doing what they want to do to you, put you away, lock you up for life, put you to death. That's what these Edomites want to do. You know, more or less they're accusing you due to your lifestyle, which is talking about that second Habakkuk, the second chapter, that woe to him that put the bottle to his neighbor. You know, because that's that lifestyle of this black culture, gang banging, drug dealer that these Edomites forced upon you. You know, And now it it fucking formed into what it is today, you know. So that's that like more or less these gangs, these Negroes, these gangs, you can fall in that category, man. You know, this devil, even though he can put anybody, you know, he can make anybody out to be a terrorist. You know, this devil, he controlled the narrative. Even that's what that guy Jeffrey Sachs was saying. He said it's a game of narrative, meaning who's controlling the narrative, who's controlling information, who's saying what is disinformation, you know, and who's saying that? These Edomites. They control the narrative. So if they say something and they're gonna put it out there, you know, it is what they say. They control the narrative. That's what that guy Jeffrey Sachs was saying. It's a game. It's a game of who controls the narrative. So these devils, they put out a story on you, and then it's gonna be like they say, because they the devil, which devil means deceit. You know, so they can paint anyone to be that. And they got that, like I said, this act out there, this Street Gang Terrorism Act, the Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act, which California, I think, got the same law, which they can make that a universal, because they can make that a national thing, right? Because it can be considered common law, you know. So all one law, a law that's passed in one state can be common in all states, basically, you know. Because that's what America more or less is a common law country. It's common law. So, like I said, like whatever law can be passed in one state, all other states can adopt that same law. You know, so they can label you that. They can haul you off to Venezuela, I mean, not Venezuela, but El Salvador, man. You know, they putting people in. They putting these what we call violent terrorists. I mean, these violent Latino gangs. They said they shipping them off to Guantanamo Bay, which is it's going to be a facility held for terrorists. You know, so this devil, you know, we coming into that time. The Lord said that they shall do. What was it, Revelation. The devil shall cast some of you into prison. So that's the devil is the same. The devil is the same one that's doing it now. Revelations 2 and 10, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So that's these FEMA camps, they already doing that, you know. They already sending some of our people to prison, you know, these mass deportations, you know, and ultimately that's where the masses of people in Babylon is going to be, man. And they're gonna be hauled off to these FEMA camps. You know, they're gonna be hauled off to these FEMA camps. That's these prisons. They're gonna be given an ultimatum to accept this new world order, the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, or to be put to death, be beheaded, or any other methods that this devil is going to bring about. Or like you know, this guy Donald Trump is trying to bring about capital punishments back of hanging, uh, public 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 hanging, uh, group what is it group shootings. I forgot how you say it. I forgot what the proper word for it. Firing squads, ran by firing squads, hanging, public hanging, and also guillotine, man. So, if I'm not missing one, but I know those three, those way of capital punishment, he's trying to bring back. He was talking about that
I
before.
think the electric chair too.
Okay, the electric chair, or whatever the case may be, public hanging, firing squads, guillotine, most definitely, and more or less like the electric chair too. He was thinking of putting and what these things are going to happen in these detention center prisons that they got set up, man. Putting mass people to death. That's why I said be faithful unto death, because it's possible that this devil is going to put you to death in it, and that's very much what's going to happen to some men. Some men are going to be beheaded. So so you see these things happening, man. These guys hauling people off the prisons. Talking about even some of you American citizens that they consider being a threat, a menace to society. What is it? Two-time felon or something like that. Two-time felon.
Yeah, those are, yeah. If you're a sick, like you say, you're a repeat offender. They trying to put you in that category too. They don't. I think it was like last week I saw this Edomite going into that, man. Yeah, you gotta be on your P's and Q's, man. You know, man.
Even they said you better have your identification out here. These ICE members might run up on you. You ain't got no ID. They're gonna haul you off.
One dude was saying, forget an ID. He said you better have your birth certificate. That's what one guy was saying. You better have your birth certificate. That would then let you know, let them know you were born here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, man, they gonna find, they gonna come down. That's that like coming down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time. These are just like I was saying, the beginning stages, man. We just like our teachers know, and the other Akim, said the best, man. Teachers know, the other Akim said the best. We're in the beginning stages of sorrow, man. They Jacob struggle, man. But nonetheless, man, the Lord knows, because these are the Lord's plans. The Lord knows regarding the elect, what's going to happen. And I'm going to read, the book of Isaiah 43 and 14, where it states, it says, Israel worries the Lord. Man. It says, this is what the Lord says, your Redeemer. This talking about Yahweh Shai, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake, I will send to Babylon and bring down as fugitives, man. Esau Edom, man, he's walking around, he's running around trying to treat everybody else like fugitives, meaning rounding up, these immigrants, taking them to, these detention centers, constant, FEMA camps that you ain't gonna get on this and turn it into Guantanamo Bay threats. We treat everybody else like fugitives, man. But that's what the Lord is going to do. He's gonna bring them down as like fugitives, man. Let me go into that. Let me read it again. This book of Isaiah 43 and 14. It says, thus saith the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake, I have sent to Babylon and have brought down nobles, all there in the Chaldeans in the ships who cry. Let me see. I think it says nobles, but it was saying fugitives. It says, Mariette. It says, fugitive. It says crooked, piercing nose. It says what a fugitive, i.e., the serpent, as fleeing in the constellation by that name, crooked. So these corrupt people, man, which are, fugitives, man, they're trying to treat everybody else like you, like I said, these, like you are a second offender, you know what I'm saying? You're a repeat offender, you know, immigrants, if they deem you illegal or whatnot. He's chasing these people down and pretty much deeming them fugitives, man. You know what I'm saying? But what the Lord said was going to happen. He said, this is the book of Isaiah 43 and 14. Then it says, this is what the Lord says, thus. It's like it. This is what the Lord says. I'm reading, this is the,
oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, this is the new living version.
Oh, my fault.
NIV, the NIV. Or the New International, some NIV version.
Right.
Yeah, the New International version. Like, Isaiah 43 and 14, it says, this is what the Lord says, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake, I will send to Babylon and bring down as fugitives all the Babylonians in the ships in which they in the ships in which they took pride. So that's exactly what these people, they're proud, man.
But what that's really talking about is in the new heavens and new earth, you're gonna have these Edomites in slavery, man. They're gonna be put on these ships that they took pride in, that they brought the children of Israel over, these slave ships. They gonna be in them ships, man. That's what it's talking about. They gonna be in them ships, man. You know, their kings, their nobles, these Edomites, on these other heathens too, but they're even more definitely Edomites. They gonna be shit in these ships too. They're gonna be in the bottom of them ships, get sent forth back and forth over the ocean, just like they did the children of Israel. That's what it's talking about.
Yeah, starting with the elites. Amongst the nation of Edom.
Yeah, and all these other Edomites in these European countries that's gonna survive, but these Edomites over here in America, your ass gonna be wiped out. But these other Edomites spread all over the earth that's gonna see Babylon burning along with the rest of these other heathens, your ass gonna be rounded up, man. If you ain't the children of Israel, you going into captivity,
So yeah, that's why I was saying, the New Living Translation, it's pretty much talking about these people gonna be what? Isaiah 43 and 14 again says, this is what the Lord says, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake, I will send to Babylon and bring down as fugitives. And these people will be brought down. This place will be brought down because truly Esau, Edom, the supreme white man, he's the real fugitive, man. That's why his dynasty, his kingdom, his empire, whatever you want to call this place, man, which is hell on earth, is going to be
running for justice. These damn fucking criminals running for justice. You can just look at these presidents, man. These presidents they got out here. They say they committed all these
they're committed acts of they have committed acts of war acts or something.
War crimes.
Yeah,
right. All these war crimes and genocidal acts. All these running from justice, fugitives running from justice, all these politicians and presidents and shit.
Ex and former presidents, all of them have been committed war. I can't even say that. War crimes, man. You know what I'm saying? That's according to what? the
crimes against humanity and things like that. Crimes against humanity, genocide, war crimes, and they're fugitives on the run, man.
Yeah, that's declared by they got a such thing as the World Court.
Yeah,
That's
International Criminal Court, the ICC.
That's according to them. You know what I'm saying? But this is their safe haven, man. You know, a lot of them are on what flight restrictions cause. If they leave the country, they can nab their ass. You know, like what do you call Interpol or whatever, or the international agents or whatever. They can nab them, man. A lot of them on flight restrictions. They're not going to leave the country, man. You know, if they leave the country, they ass a target. They gone. They're gonna pick them up. They here, you know, for the most part, man. But like I said, there was plenty of times when you hear these other, even if they are, it's not being publicized. There's plenty of times you will hear that these different presidents, man. I ain't never heard. I haven't heard in the past and in a while now, man. I would say like this since the Obama administration. To be honest, I haven't heard about these ex-presidents flying to different countries, man. You know, not to say they're not, but it's not in the press. I mean, I haven't read a lot of newspapers, but you would think it would be, because I can't really say what these people are doing or because I don't keep too much of it, but I haven't read that, man, or seen that lately, man. Because you have, at one point in time, you would have these ex-presidents that go to country, for instance, like Africa, and hold these little, they get paid handsomely, as they call it. They get paid handsomely to speak, have these public speaking at these different different countries, man. A lot of them probably not even doing it no more because they on that flight restriction, man. That they probably get nabbed up. I remember they were saying something like that a couple of years ago about what's his name? Even because the conflict was going on between Russia and Ukraine, they were saying that that's what Putin was in. They said Putin is in hiding or something like that. At one time, they would say he's in hiding because people are committing acts of war crimes or whatever you want to call it. But they're quick to put things like that out when it comes to different leaders from different countries, but they won't really pretty much publicize, man, that stuff like that in the United States about their leaders here, man. I mean, you will find it, but you gotta do some digging. They ain't gonna put it like breaking news like they do about different leaders. Like say for instance, the example that I made, Putin in Russia, they'll put that on national news. You know what I'm saying? But things like that of the United States media, they won't publicize that like that, man. Which in fact they do have, indictments, if you want to call it, on these leaders that are ex-presidents of America, man. I mean, these United States, man. But they don't publicize it like they would leaders from different countries, leaders from other countries, man. But yeah, that's what the Lord is going to do, man. The Lord is going to what? He said, for your sake, I will send to Babylon and bring down as fugitives, man. These people will be brought down, man. This place is going to be destroyed, man. And that's whose sake? For the sake of Israel, namely the elect, man. For the elect's sake, namely, man, the Lord is going to what? So he's gonna bring this place down, man. The Lord spoken it, and it shall come to pass. And not because we say it, because that's what these people say. They think that, because that's why they said in the book of Revelation, it says mystery Babylon. That's why these people, to the majority of these people, they don't know what mystery Babylon is, man.
Yeah, it's still a mystery.
Yeah. we can see through the spirit, just like like our teachers, or like teachers, you know, taught it best. Like you can see, cause Babel when it goes back to confusion. That's what a lot of this place and these people mentality is about, man. Especially nowadays, that's what they want to bring about: confusion, deception, deceit, lies, mischiefs. That's all you see. That's all you be seeing. I be seeing people that throughout my daily, but me, the Lord said these things gonna happen, man. And you see that. But a lot of these devils, man, they hear, especially them 2/3 Israel, these simple ass niggas, man, they hear the truth. And these devils, they spitefully, man, they spitefully because you know it. You know anything with you, they be spitefully trying to make things happen, man. Or they sitting right here eavesdropping, being busybody. That's what the Lord, in the precept they call being busybodies, man. Just being trying to meddle in your business, and they hear certain things and they intentionally try to make these things happen to you, man, spitefully, man. Because what you aware, man, you see, you know.
Lord, I think there's a precept, but I'm gonna get it real quick. Ezekiel 36:5 says, "Therefore, thus said the Lord God, how about you, Shah? Surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all our Dumia, which have appointed my land unto their possession, which with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds, to cast it out for prey." Right? So,
This is that was Ezekiel chapter what?
Ezekiel 36:5. That wisdom of Solomon, more or less. I'm going to start at Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2:17. Says, "Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. For, for if the just man be the son of the Most High, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies." It says, "Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that he may know that we may know his meekness and prove his patience." Man. So they're doing it. What? Let's examine him with despitefulness. So that's what they're doing out of spite. Man. So they just doing shit out of spite. Man. They hear us speaking, who we are, speaking this truth. They say, okay, we think he's the son of the living, just like they did in Messiah. You the son of God, come down from the cross. More or less, they acting like, okay, you the son of the Most High. Let the Lord deliver him. More or less. That's what we got our faith in. That the Lord is going to do just that. That's a part of his promise. He's going to deliver those that trust in him, right? So they doing it, they saying, okay, you think that way, let's do shit out of this. They was doing shit out of spite. Goddamn devils, man. I want to continue reading and what you were just continue reading what you was reading out of Isaiah 43, about the Amplified version. It says, Isaiah 43:14 out the Amplified version, it says, This is what the Lord Yahweh, the Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel says. For your sake, I have sent one to Babylon, and I will bring down all them as fugitives, even the Chaldeans who reign in Babylon, into the ships over which they rejoice. Right. So that's them. These Babylonians are these Edomites. The modern day Babylonians are these Edomites today. You know, they're noblemen. You know, the ones that reign over Babylon are these elites. You know, primarily these elites. They reign over Babylon. You know, they tell these politicians what to do. The presidents, they tell them what to do. Right. Verse 15, it says, "I am the Lord Yahweh, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King." This is what the Lord Yahweh says. He who makes a way through the sea and a path through the mighty waters. So it says, He that make a way through he that make a way through the sea and a path through the mighty waters. So what is he talking about there? Jeremiah 46:7 says, "Who is he that cometh up as a flood, whose waters are moved as the rivers?" Right? We'll read it again. Jeremiah 46:7, it says, "Who is he that cometh up as a flood, whose waters are moved as the rivers? Egypt riseth up as a flood. Egypt riseth up like a flood, and his waters are moved like the rivers. And he saith, I will put up and will cover the earth. I will destroy the city and the inhabitants thereof." So that's why the Lord said He's going to make a way. The Lord said, "This is the Lord Yahweh. This is the Lord Yahweh. This is what the Lord Yahweh said. He who makes a way through the sea and a path through the mighty waters." So that's what these devils, they're gonna come in as a flood. You know, and the Lord is gonna make a way for His elect. You know, through these times, man. You know, some they gonna get spiritual power. Some they gonna have angels looking over them, protecting them, guiding them. You know, the Lord is gonna make a way for His elect. You know, and that's why I said he make a path through he makes a way through the sea and make a path through the water in the mighty waters, right? So that's how these devils are gonna come. Like I said, an example of that is it's already going on. This ice department. They coming in as a flood, they coming in stormtrooping, knocking on people's doors, trying to get people out of there. Or read a precept, another example of these waters. This is Isaiah chapter 8 and 7. It says, "Now therefore, behold, the Lord bringeth up upon them the waters of the river, strong and many, even the king of Assyria, in all his glory, and he shall come up over all his channels and go over all his banks." Right? So these heathen are these heathens and their military, their army, or whatever their military might is a representation of mighty waters or rivers or floods, right? I'm gonna read verse 8. It says that he shall pass through Judah, he shall overflow and he shall overflow and go over, he shall reach even to the neck, and the stretching out, so like in the stretching out of his wings shall feel the breath of thy land, O Emmanuel, right? So these devils are going to come in like a flood. The Lord said he's going to make a way. The Lord is going to make a way. Verse 17, and that verse from Isaiah 46 and 16, he says, this is what the Lord, Yahweh says, he who makes a way through the sea and a path through the mighty waters, he who brings out the chariot and the horse, the army and the mighty warrior, they will lie down together, they will not rise again. So who's talking about these Edomites? Those who brought, that's why he said, he who brings out the chariot and the horse, talking about these heathens and these heathens and their might and their power and their military. He who brings out the chariot and the horse, the army and the mighty warrior, they will lie down together, they will not rise again. They have been extinguished, they have been put out like a lamp's wick. So there's a precept of that too, right? The light of the wicked shall be put out, right? I think that's in Job. Call that it says, the light of the wicked shall be put out. That's why the Lord says, they have been extinguished. Isaiah 43 and 17, it says, they have been extinguished. They have been put out like a lamp's wick, right? So who is that? He's talking about Esau. Light of the wicked. Job 18 and 5, right? Job chapter 18, verse 5, it says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine, right? So that's what he's talking about. The wicked is Esau, Peter. So the Lord said the Lord said he's gonna read verse 17 out of Isaiah 43 and 17 again. Out the Amplified version, it says, he who brings out the chariot and the horse, the army and the mighty warrior, they will lie down together. They will not rise again. So he's talking about these Edomites, man. Talking about that one scriptures, there's another scripture, so they will not fill the land with cities on their I think it says prepare his children for slaughter, prepare slaughter for his children. So it's talking about these Edomites. Says they will lie down together, they shall not rise again. They have been extinguished, they have been put out like a lamp's wick, right? So the Lord said in Job 18 and 5, says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine, right? So that's what he's talking about, these Edomites. They shall lie down together. The one who brought these armies against you, as a flood. They all shall lie down together. They're gonna be, belly of these ships, the ships that they rejoice. They're gonna be brought down to the ground. They're gonna be brought low. They're gonna be in the bottom of them ships, just as the children of Israel was. Right? So
yeah, I got a precept to Job. Job 17, and then Job 18 and 5. I got a precept for that. This is the book of Job, chapter 11 and 20. It says, "But the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape, and their hope shall be as the giving up of the ghost." Yeah, so yeah, that's that. Everything these people like, pretty much these people essence, man. Everything about them, man. Their way of life is going to be um, extinguished, man, by the Lord, man. We read that again in the book of Job, chapter 11, 20 says, "But the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape, and their hopes shall be as the giving up of the ghost." So everything about these people is going to, is going to die off, man. You know what I mean? Their hopes of rulership, you know, they think they're going to escape the judgment of Yahweh Shai is going to be as what? Giving up the ghost. You know what I'm saying? So, that's their wicked, their life is going to be put out, man. You know, this is all going to happen through what? The spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, man. You know, and that's what these people they don't like, man. They don't like the truth, but that's who the Lord is dealing with, man. The Lord is only dealing with Israel, man, and that's what these people fail to understand, man. Because the Lord said, "What? Give them eyes that they don't see, ears that they don't hear." Because these people don't understand. They want to think that the Lord is for everybody, man. I want to go back to Isaiah 47, 43, and 17. He just preached up real quick. Says, he who brings out the chariot and the horse, the army and the mighty warrior, they will lie down together. They will not rise again. Right. So I'm gonna go to Isaiah 14. In 21, it says, "Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of his fathers. And they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities." Right? So there's these Edomites, man. So that's why it says they will not rise again. Right? Isaiah 43, 17. Again, it says, "For he who bring out the chariot and the horse, the army and the mighty warrior, they will lie down together. They will not rise again." Right? They have been extinguished. They have been put out like a lamp's wick. The light of the wick shall be put out. They will not rise again. So who is in power now? The Edomite, Esau. They are in power now. And the Lord is when Yahweh Shai comes to strength and power of Yahweh, he's gonna put Esau, Edom down and all, his power structure. He's coming to put them down along with the rest of these heathens, man. And they will not rise again. They're gonna be as slaves, man. They're gonna be in the bottom of these ships, like the children of Israel was in the bottom. And this is not our words. These are the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is his words, and this is his program, man. This is his world. The Lord said, I made the world
and all that's therein, you know, the inhabitants and all that is therein. This is the Lord's doing, man, you know, what he done to us with his will, what he done to the children of Israel, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, even to this day, is his will. You know, what he's gonna do with these heathens is his will also, man. You know, who can fight, who can strive against the Lord, man. You know, you can't do nothing against the one that created you, you know. So it's all in his power, you know, call like my Yahweh Shemel Shah, man. You know, it's all his will and it's all his doing, you know. So these Edomites are gonna be put out, man. You know, they're gonna be slaves. Deuteronomy, what? I mean, Revelations on chapter 13 and 10, I think. Yeah, Revelation chapter 13 and 10 says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here was the patience and the faith of the saints. That's what we are waiting on. Right? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. That's these Edomites. They got to go into captivity along with the rest of these sheep. They got to go into captivity. And kill it with the sword. Esau's blessing was what? With the sword. And that's why Esau do all day long, 24/7, kill with the sword. By multiple methods, you know, biological, chemical, psychological, the literal sword. You know, this devil slay all day with the sword. Man. And he must be killed with the sword.
Okay. Yeah, Jeremiah, I got a precept about Jeremiah 44 and 11. It says, and when it cometh, 43:11, it says, when he cometh, he shall smite the land of Egypt and deliver such as are for death to death, and such as are for captivity to captivity, and such as are for the sword to the sword, man. So when the Lord comes to this place also called spiritually Egypt, you know, meaning a place of land and bondage, man. So when the Lord comes, he's going to deliver such as for death to death, and he's going to end as slacking. Repeat that again. The book of Jeremiah 43:11, it says, and when he cometh, he shall smite the land of Egypt and deliver such as are for death to death, and such as are for captivity to captivity, and such as are for the sword to the sword, man. So this place, there's going to be people put to death. There's going to be people preserved for captivity. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be people, you know, the sword, you know, the sword to the sword, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's what the Lord is going to do, man. You know, I mean, you can be put to death by many ways, man. Pestilence, different types of pestilence, man. You know, the famine is one. You know, you can be put to death in many ways. They were like, this place right here is the shadow of death. You know, but this place, you know, whoever's going to be put, you know, is going to be delivered to death. It's going to be delivered to death, and then those that are going to be such as for captivity. There's going to be some people here in Babylon the Great. It's going to be, aka America, also known as spiritual Egypt. Is it going to be what? Delivered for captivity, man. You know what I mean? That's things those these elites amongst Esau, man. You know, they got these people, they got these underground bunkers, you know, they think they're gonna escape the wrath of Yahweh Yahweh Shah. They're gonna be preserved for captivity, man, because there's no escaping the judgment of the Lord,
And I have precept also in Jeremiah 30 and 16. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey, man. So that's what the Lord said, all thine adversaries, right? Every one of them shall go into captivity, man. Psalms chapter 83 tells you the enemies of Israel, man. And the first one, you know, the first one is Esau Edom, right? It tells you the enemies of Israel, Psalm chapter 83. Yeah, Psalms 83 tells you the enemies of Israel and the tabernacles tabernacles of Edom is the first one, first on the list. Our arch nemesis are these Edomites. You know, that's why the Lord said, all thine adversaries, Jeremiah 30 and 16, said, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So that's what's going to happen to these Edomites, man. Ezekiel, now in the book of Ezekiel 35 and 14, says, thus saith the Lord God, Yahweh Bashim Shah, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. So the Lord is going to make Esau desolate, man. As let's see, says, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because what they did, they inherited us, man. Made us what? Their slaves. They was passing us down as inheritance to their children. You know, our slave, like as slaves, who was inherited by their descendants. You know, it was giving us, passing us down to generation. So, like the Lord says, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee, and thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all I do, even all of it. And they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. So you're gonna know who did it. You're gonna know who the Lord did it. You know, I didn't do anything. You know, say the Lord, I didn't do anything. It was Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. The God of the Bible. Man. You know, that's who did it. You know, I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. But these devils are going to accuse us for what we're bringing out. You know, we ain't saying we ain't doing anything. The Lord is going to do it. The Lord said, "What? Wait upon me. Vengeance is mine. Wait upon me," saith the Lord. You know, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So we're waiting on the Lord to take vengeance. Man. You know, but these devils are going to come at us like we're posing some type of physical threat to them. We don't promote any type of violence weaponry, or none of that, man. You know, the Lord is going to do His will. He's going to come and destroy. You know, that's what He's coming back to do. You know, and He's going to, in certain men, is going to have the power of Yahweh Shai. We ain't going to have no AK-47 missiles, guns, bombs, tanks, none of that, man. We ain't going to need none of that. You know, in that time, we ain't going to need none of that. Because we won't have the power of Yahweh Shai. Pulsing throughout our whole essence, you know. So I just hope I'm eligible for it, eligible for it. But it is what it is, according to the will of Yahweh Shai. I know all brothers hope that. You know?
Yeah, I got a precept in the book of Isaiah 36:3, and it says, "Who is that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in his greatness of his traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the winefat? I have treaded the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I would tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and the blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment." So the Lord said, I trodden the wine press alone, man. So this is what the Lord did, not us. The Lord alone is going to destroy this place, man, because the Lord has spoken this into existence, man. You know, but prior to the existence of this place, the Lord had already, for the lack of better terms, gave its final destination, man. The Lord already written the beginning of this place before its existence, and the end of this place before its existence, man. You know, so you know every time or every dynasty has a set measure to rule, man. You know, and we're, you know, as the Lord commanded us to do, man, we're patiently waiting, man. Lord willing, we those spirits, but you know, the saints are patiently waiting, man, for what the Lord to return and to do His promises, man. You know, just like what I mentioned before, like the precept said, we're nothing more than prisoners of hope. Prisoners of hope, you know. I got another precept. This is in the book of Isaiah. This is Isaiah 34:5 says, For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment." So that's what the I just read, man. You know, sword of the Lord is Yahweh Shai, man. You know, sword of Yahweh is Yahweh Shai. You know, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. The Lord Yahweh have a sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So the Lord has a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. The land of Idumea today is America. Basra. You know, a great slaughter in Basra. You know, Basra today, America is Basra today, Slovakia. You know, the land of Idumea. You know, it's America.
He's like, he got a great slaughter here. Sword shall be bathed in heaven. Verse 7, and the unicorn shall come down, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullock and the bulls, and and, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and the dust be fat with fats. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of his recompense for the controversy of Zion. So that's what's going on, man. For why? The controversy of Zion, for what's happening to us. The Lord is coming on our behalf, the Israelites, for what's going on to us. Because there's nobody to help us. Don't know these other nations, for the most, these nations don't give a fuck about the children of Israel, man. We are set at blame in this devil's world, man. We're the ones that's being blamed for everything. We're the ones that's being looked at as an issue,
Yeah, we don't have a seat in the UN to make compromise and plead, the atrocities that happen to us. Even these so-called terrorists.
We need savior. We need a savior, man. We don't, because we've been slaughtered here. We're being blamed. There's nobody coming to our rescue. There's nobody coming to help us. We the ones that need to be saved. That's why the Lord is coming to save Israel. Man. We need a savior. These other nations don't need saving in this land. They can exercise their rights without being harassed and being looked at as a criminal. You might be the one that's doing the mass shooting and all that shit, but they can still walk around this bitch with AK-47, doing all this, being labeled the domestic terrorists, these white nationalists, domestic terrorists, even by your FBI, they the top domestic terrorists, but they can still walk around here with AK-47s and shit and say whatever, and they protect them, man. Just like there's an incident that happened, I forgot where it happened, but he said these Negroes was in disbelief that the police were supporting the neo-Nazis, man. There was an article about that, man. Talking about these black people were, I forgot what city it was in. They talking about it was in disbelief that the local police was in support of the neo-Nazis, man. And they had one of them with a picture with an AK-47, man. So who the fuck needs saving in this world, man? Getting slaughtered by the police, all type of shit, in poverty, all type of shit is going on with the children of Israel, man. Who needs saving, man? Children of Israel, man. So-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. We the one that need to save. These devils don't need no fucking saving.
We don't got no seat in the UN, man, to plead our fifth, to plead our atrocities that we've been going through and actually going through, have been and actually going through. But they even got these so-called terrorists, global terrorists, man, have seats in the UN, like Al-Qaeda, man. The Taliban, they got their flag, they got a seat in the UN. You can look that up. They could talk and go and seek diplomatic, agreements to an extent. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see no seat with the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? Sitting there,
pleading their case.
Yeah, you don't see that, man.
Yeah, I got this article from NBC News. It says after armed neo-Nazis get police protection, some black residents in Ohio express disbelief. So they getting protected by the police, man. These are supposed to be the top domestic terrorists of America, right? These neo-Nazis, white supremacists, hate spreading hate. That's why they saying all type of shit. But they get protected by the police. And when what's wrong with you Negroes? You getting slaughtered by the police, man.
Anything else? We close it out.
That's it.
Yeah, we're gonna close it out.
Before we do, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Wakati, Dash, Ishak, and Zil, to the brother Abaka, Lawani. The Lord willing, we'll be back to feed the flock till next time. Shalom, Barakathon, Wabba, Shalom.